Out well.
Real Sociedad versus PSG.
This is a big one.
Well, PSG has Kylian Mbappe, who is
I've heard of him quite often.
That's Giannis. That's the Joker. Whoever you want to say the best player. Like he's OG.
Is he a Kylian that actually spells his name with a K?
He's a Frenchie, so they're kind of don't shave their armpits and stuff like that. He'll probably be at Real Madrid next year, no question about that. But then you get Bayern Munich versus Lazio, a Roman team. So those are the two Champions League games today.
Well, you got your afternoon figured out.
2:00.
That's when the show ends.
There we go.
No wonder you haven't asked if I want to go grab a taco after.
You
got things to do, man.
Hey, let's go grab a taco. They'll have the match on.
We got our place in town here where I get a chance to sit down with Matt Jones, eat nachos, enchiladas, and watch the soccer ball kicked around a little bit.
They do take
the
care
footy.
of us. That's right.
If I'm going to sit there with you, I'm going to have to call it the footy.
What you watching on the telly?
This is great. We should be eating fish and chips. You never asked me to eat fish and chips. I wonder why that is.
We had our spot, man. They went away. Fish City left us in Fort Smith. I don't know what happened. That was a great establishment, great food. Love that place. And Fort Smith is growing so much. You see all this stuff going on.
Just look at what's going on around the station here.
Maybe Fish City will have maybe they'll come out of hibernation again. You never know.
Well, I've made it into studio today. I think I sound a little different when I'm in studio. Going to meet the women's basketball team to get up to South Carolina for the start of the postseason. It starts this week. They get a week between the end of the SEC women's basketball tournament and Selection Sunday. Like the men's teams, you get your conference tournament. You can win 3 games in 3 days. In most cases, obviously, you get some that go 4-4, 5-5, and then they find out that night where it is you're going, and then 2 days later you're traveling. I think you'd like to have that extra week, wouldn't you?
So as soon as the SEC tournament's over, that Saturday or Sunday, whenever the championship is, you're saying that very next weekend, like on Thursday, you're going to be somewhere getting ready for March Madness? It comes that quick, huh? I didn't know that. I thought you got a week. I did.
Yeah. I even remember, I think the championship games are on a Sunday, and the Big East always had, because I was watching Big East basketball, they would have their championship game.
Epic. Those Big East championship tournaments, oh my goodness.
And it would lead right into the selection show. So it's like, yeah, you better have your laundry ready to go. Or the student managers better have the laundry ready to go. But yeah, the women's teams, well, at least in the SEC, they get a week. They get a full week. Well, I mean, it's a good is it a Wednesday? It's a Tuesday. It's an easy breezy Tuesday today, Matt. Happy about that. We got Chuck Barrett with us, hour number 1. He'll be coming up in just a moment. We've got Alyssa Orange in the second hour and Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, hour number 3. Sam Pittman speaks to the media today, 1 o'clock. I think it's inside the Smith Center, and of course they've got a Zoom too. So, what is it that you want to know? What's top of mind for fans? Or is this even top of mind for fans today? Is this the kind of thing that, we'll bring Bill King on, Matt. Ask him about spring football, and he isn't really paying too much attention to it. Because football fans want to watch football. You like talking about it. The practices are one thing. You get your eyes on just a little bit of it. But this is, are people really bought into even kicking around the issues, I guess, is the question that I have. I care about it. I know you care about it, Matt.
It's important.
All of us around here in this station we'll be airing all the games.
It's very important. It's very important to get some reps. It's very important to start defining your role. When you win one conference game, there's a lot of work to be done. There's not a whole lot of talking needed. What questions is coach really going to answer? What real questions? So let's go to work. Let's get to work. You got a new offense to learn. You got new position players that got to learn this defense. You lost your best offensive player, your other best offensive player, your best defensive player. I mean, you lost your best players on a 1-7 team. A lot of work to get done. A lot of work this spring.
Well, and you got your first real quarterback battles since 2019. I mean, that's the last time.
Was that the kid, Felipe? Was that the kid that transferred from Florida?
Frank's was for 2020.
Okay.
And that, I mean, he came in as an assumed starter.
Yeah.
And that was KJ's freshman year. I was about to call him rookie. And I think we might have to start using that term pretty soon, don't you think? Dude, remember, it used to just be every league would have a freshman of the year. Then you started to see some newcomer of the year throwing in. It's just time to start to use the word rookie once everybody's getting paid. But yeah, it's the first real quarterback battle between Criswell or Green that you've seen in Fayetteville in 5 years. That's kind of wild to think about. So that certainly is a top of mind topic. I think that everybody will be kicking around if you care about Arkansas football at all. Got baseball today, 3:00. UCA. I think the weather ought to be all right. You start your in-state series. Chuck will be on the call today. And I got to bring this up with him because, Chuck stopped doing baseball about 10 years ago. I think one of the reasons was the crossover season is just nuts, and now he's right in the middle of crossover season, filling in for me for a women's basketball game, filling in for me today. He did on Sunday for baseball. He's got Arkansas LSU tomorrow. So welcome back to crossover season, Chuck. Very nice.
Chuck's a professional.
Absolutely.
He's easy breezy. Well,
he ought to get it. You never know what you get with an Arkansas UCA baseball game. Just looked at 2 years ago. He had a 21-9 win in the first of the two games that those teams played. And I don't remember if that was the game that Dylan Leach hit a home run each side of the plate, or if that was the game that Robert Moore hit for the cycle. They might have been the same thing. 21-9. And then they played them a month later in North Little Rock, Matt, and had to go 10 innings, and the Razorbacks won 2-1. We were all kind of like, all right, why are we even playing this? Just, you already got a 14-point handicap, essentially. But you never know when these teams meet. You never do. Really cool news from Dave yesterday, Matt, about the return of a pitcher who, I got to be honest, I'm surprised he's even going to throw this year. Dylan Carter, who had, and I don't know if he really did have Tommy John surgery or if it's this other surgery that's more of a less invasive process that they use a collagen brace instead of, ripping out a tendon kind of out of the leg and attaching it in the elbow like that. It's a brace to sort of piece this whole thing together. He went down, I guess it was April last year. He may pitch today. He literally may pitch today. That's not even a 10. That's 11 months from the moment that he was hurt. Not even 11 months from the moment of the surgery, which is amazing. I mean, whatever happens to him for the rest of the season, I'm just happy for Dylan that he's going to make it back. Because that's one of those injuries that you kind of wonder if you're ever going to make it back. I mean, ever throw a baseball again. And he will. He will do it today. So we got all of that laid out there right in front of you for halftime today. Women's basketball and the SEC tournament. Men's basketball, final home game of the season tomorrow, LSU. Baseball, UCA. Today, McNeese Friday and the weekend. Spring football starting Thursday. Sam Pittman talking today. And they didn't even bring up any of the other sports which are going on campus because March is not just the craziest month in college basketball. It's the craziest month in college sports. We got a moment, and the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joins us on the McClarty Daniel hotline, so stay with us.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else. My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
It's the 3rd annual car show brought to you by McKenzie's Racing Supply. Bring your street rods, hot rods, and race cars from all area racetracks. Everyone is invited for a fun day of cars and music at McKenzie's Racing Supply, 1111 South 4th Street, Van Buren. Saturday, March 23rd from 11 to 1. Trophies will be awarded. Live music from the Jug Hill Annie Band. Sponsored by Scott Graham Performance Carburetors, Elite Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, American Towing, Phipps Chassis, and KR Promotions.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. When you're a stranger, faces look ugly. When you're alone, women seem wicked. When you're unwanted, streets are uneven. When you're down, when you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed to the McClarty Daniel hotline on a Tuesday morning, and the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joining us for a couple of segments today during crossover season 2, Chuck. And I mean, you're crossing over more than anybody right now. You got a women's basketball game you did, men's basketball, got baseball today. So how you holding up? I'm sure you're doing great.
Well, I'm doing all right. I mean, it's not like I've got to do more than one women's game and 2 baseball games, at least not that I know of. So, yeah, it's going to come to a screeching halt, though, pretty quickly. So you'll keep going, but I'll be done.
You sounded good. I listened to a little bit of the game on Sunday. That was an interesting game. You were obviously brushed up on your infield fly rule.
I don't know what the deal is. That's one of those things that just stays with you. If you've called games, and yeah, I couldn't believe those guys ran. Now I've seen the infield fly rule hundreds of times, as you have too, but I've never seen anyone try to advance. It's the first time it's ever happened, and they were as lost as they could be. I mean, I think the base coaches were lost, and the thing is, all it takes is just 1 or 2 seconds of indecision, and you blow it, and that's what they did.
You know what? A conversation that's surrounding the base
battle's been, he was offensively, he's just been great. Now, it's not lost on me, and I have to be honest, it's not lost on me that they are 1-2 in these games. And I think that, though, maybe points to some other things besides the way Caleb's played, because he's been terrific.
When we went to LSU earlier this year, so I know it's a rematch, they kind of jumped out on us early. And Baker, they're big. I believe he had 19 in the first half. When you're playing a team a second time, how important is it to make it to that first TV timeout, that second TV timeout, and not be down double digits?
I guarantee you they'll be more prepared for Will Baker this time than they were before. Somebody else may go off, I don't know, but I'll bet Will Baker doesn't have the kind of game here that he had there. I think everybody that watched the game or had anything to do with the game was shocked by that, and I don't know that he's done it since. Maybe he has. I haven't paid close attention. LSU was really good that night in their arena. I mean, they really were. And you're right, they jumped out on Arkansas, and it was never a game. That's happened in Baton Rouge before. Not all the time, but it's happened there before. And sometimes, maybe occasionally, it has a bearing on what happens in Fayetteville, but really not that often. If you look at the series history, if I was a player, and obviously I'm not, but if I was a player, I'd want to get back at some people. And I suspect they're thinking that.
Well, you want to go out and you want to play well, too. I mean, they haven't always played well, but it doesn't, to me, look like they're just like playing out the string. There's effort. There's want to there. It doesn't necessarily lead to a win, but you wouldn't have had the lead at Rupp with as well as Kentucky was playing with 6 minutes left if there wasn't a lot of want to here. So, we're kind of searching for things, but that's one thing that I think we found.
And they want to win tomorrow night. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt they want to win tomorrow night. It's going to be senior night after it's over with. Doesn't mean quite as much as it used to, but there's still going to be jerseys handed out, and it's still going to be a special night. And, I think they want to play well, and I think they they want to win. And just as a player, I can't imagine not wanting to play against Alabama Saturday. They're the same type team Kentucky is. Go let it all hang out. Go play. Get some stops here and there. Go down there and score the way you did, the way you did in Rupp. Alabama's good enough to blow them out. I mean, they are. Alabama's good enough to blow them out. But Arkansas is good enough to play the way they played Saturday, too.
Chuck, it's wild to look at, just the rankings at least. And Tennessee right now looks like they got at least a decent shot for a number 1 seed.
Do you think that's the only, Phil? You think that's the only team in the SEC that has a chance to get a 1 seed?
Yeah, absolutely. But look at who has got a chance maybe for like a 3 seed or 4 seed: Auburn, Kentucky, Bama, South Carolina. You got 3 or 4 teams that could get to the second weekend, maybe even the third.
Yeah, I think all those teams are going to be at the 4 line or better. Maybe Kentucky to 5. I don't know. Maybe one of them is on the 5 line, but I don't think so. I think that group you talked about there will all be top 4s. Unless Tennessee really stumbles, I could see Tennessee being a top seed. Now I don't think they can lose a couple of times. I think they could lose one more game. But Tennessee's playing like a top seed right now. And if the season ended today, I think they would be, but obviously it doesn't. So, I do think that the seeding is going to be determined this week. I don't think it's going to be determined next week at the conference tournament. For example, Tennessee goes 2-0 this week. I think they're a top seed, regardless of what happens in Nashville. I think for them, they need to have a good week if they want to be a number 1 seed.
Hey, Chuck, I don't know if you get a vote for Coach of the Year, but I want to kind of get your thoughts on, Ricky Barnes at Tennessee, Lamont Parrish at South Carolina, 2 totally different scenarios coming into this season. Tennessee picked to win it. South Carolina picked last. What do you think is more valuable? If you had a vote, would you give it to the last place coach that has nothing to lose, or Tennessee when it's like, man, that everybody's trying to give them their A game every time they come out there?
Well, that's a good question, and it's two different coaching jobs. I mean, it really is. Now, if you were to ask me who's the better coach of the two, I would say Rick Barnes, because I think Rick Barnes could do with South Carolina what Lamont Paris has done. I don't know that Lamont Paris could do with Tennessee what Rick Barnes has done, for a lot of the reasons you just kind of alluded to. Having said that, Paris is the coach of the year in my mind. Rick Barnes is the Hall of Famer, but Paris is the coach of the year. And he's earned that, in my judgment. But if you were to ask me who I'd rather have, I'd say Rick Barnes in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right. I'm with you right there. Yeah, if you're at South Carolina, pick last, Phil, and you get a double bye. I mean, that's big time.
Well, what Barnes has right now is a program. What Paris has right now is one good season.
Right.
Yeah. So you got the evidence of he's got the ability to turn it around. Can you sustain it? Barnes has certainly sustained it. Regular season, I think they've got what it takes to go a long way this year in March. You can go a long way by getting the best Tex-Mex and better service in the area at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Every Friday's Fajita Friday, featuring char-broiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, comes with the extras. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef and chicken enchiladas that you can eat. It's Joe's Grilling Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, better service, 3400 South 74th, across from Harps and Fort Smith, joesfortsmith.com, and the Waiter app to order. And the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, stays with us after this.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, You'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
In Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We have the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us for this last segment on halftime. Always appreciate his time on these Tuesdays. Chuck, another thing going on right now, aside from the teams that are playing games that go on their record, is spring football starting up on Thursday. Coach Pittman speaks to the media at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're all wondering about the quarterback battle. We're all wondering about installing a new offense and Bobby Petrino and, new offensive line coach and everything. There's a lot of changes, man. And I know, when you're 1-7 in the SEC, you probably want a lot of those changes, but it's just, there's a lot to keep up with in spring.
Well, there is change. There's no doubt about that. And I know all eyes are going to be on the offense. And, Bobby Petrino's a guy that, with the Razorback fans, carries enormous cachet, and they've got a lot of confidence in his ability as a play caller. And I'm sure Sam Pittman does too, or he wouldn't have gone and hired him. It's an unusual situation, to say the least, but it's simply been a conversation piece until now, or until Thursday. And then we'll begin to actually see it on the field. And, we'll see it when the spring game rolls around. He's, it's going to bear fruit, whatever that is. And so I'm looking forward to it just like everybody else.
I guess I want to feel coming out of spring ball that you have a set offensive line that is set, that you don't have to necessarily. Let me change it. You want guys to win jobs right now because they look that good, because they look like they're starters in the SEC, and not to have to settle on somebody. And I guess that's a little bit how I felt. Maybe I didn't realize it coming out of spring ball last year, but that's kind of what it felt like when you looked at the results.
Well, the one thing that I do remember about what Coach Petrino did offensively, what he and Paul did when they were here together, and Garrick and all of them, was, timing was really important. And that timing takes a lot of work. That precision takes a lot of work. And, the summertime is a critical time. Every day's critical. Every day's critical between now and then. It may not seem like it, but it is. And so I understand the thinking that it might be best to know who your guys are going to be coming out of the spring. Might be more important this time around than some other years. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking out loud like everybody else. But I could see that scenario unfold.
Hey, Chuck, on as far as on the defensive side of the ball, and Travis Williams in year two, kind of depleted linebacker staff. What are you looking for? You think this defense would be better understanding of what Coach Williams wants? What are you looking for this spring ball out of this defense?
Well, I think we're going to have to see some of these transfers, at positions like linebacker, how they are. I mean, they've done okay in the portal on the defensive side. They brought in some guys who helped them immediately, and it sounds like they're going to need that again. The thing that I liked last year, and I just think it's the key to the whole thing, is you've got to be able to rotate up front. Arkansas has not been able to do that very many years they've been in the SEC. I mean, they've just not. And they were, I think, closer last year to being able to legitimately rotate 7 or 8 than they've been in pretty much any other year. That's what I want to see. Are the holdovers, the new guys, what's the mesh going to be like there? Can you play 6, 7, 8 guys and feel confident doing it? They've been able to do that, or they did last year. To me, that's the most important thing.
Linebacker too.
Linebacker's important,
mm-hmm.
but I think they feel like they've addressed that. We don't know who they are because they've not played here before, but I think they feel like they've addressed that in the portal. And Arkansas lost Pooh Paul, and that hurt. But, as good a player as Pooh Paul is, a lot of these portal moves, when it's all said and done, you've just traded the same guy for the same guy. And in terms of overall production. And I don't think Arkansas is going to lose anything there. As good as he was, based on what I understand of the people they've got in here, I don't think Arkansas is going to lose anything there. Now, are they going to be better? And is what they were last year good enough? Well, I mean, I don't know, but I don't think there's going to be the drop off there people think.
Hey, Chuck, we had I guess I had a relationship with him and kind of with his boy, with Alex Mortensen, in the passing with Chris Mortensen. One of the always so good to my family and to me. I hadn't really talked to him since college or anything, but I know he had Arkansas ties. I was just going to get your thoughts on your run-ins with him and what kind of Chris Mortensen meant to you.
Well, he was a gentleman, certainly, and he was the kind of guy that always made you feel a little bit better after you talked to him. He was a pro's pro. I mean, I can just tell you from a broadcaster's perspective, from a media guy's perspective, he was a pro's pro. He was a pioneer. He was the first writer that became a television personality, a good one. There may have been some other guys that dabbled in it, but he was the first one that did it successfully. And he always, by virtue of his reporting skills, had the most knowledge of anybody in the game, so to speak. But he was the first one who was able to articulate it. He was the first one to make that transition into television. It's what made him a star. All-Stars based on ESPN, but they were award-winning journalists at big papers. Chris really, I think it would be fair to say, came to fame as a sports writer at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And I'm going to guess Gammons was at the Boston Globe. So, they had powerful platforms, and ESPN taught them how to be on-air personalities. I think they had an easier teaching job with Chris than Peter Gammons, but that's what happened.
Well, you got baseball today, 3 o'clock, 2:30 airtime. You obviously still enjoy calling baseball games, Chuck, because you sounded really good on Sunday. It's like riding a bike, isn't it?
Well, in some respects, yes. In other respects, no. And we've talked about this. I'm a paper guy, man. I like paper. And I'm going to be better prepared today. There's too much non-paper. I got to have it there where I can grab hold of it.
They don't print.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I am. I enjoy it.
They don't print a lot for you anymore, Paul. They just don't.
Yeah, I know. I'd give my printer a workout this morning.
Have a good call, Chuck. We'll be listening,
Thanks,
okay?
Man. See ya.
Thanks, Chuck.
Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks, on the call today, 2:30 for the Dugout Show. He'll be there with Bubba Carpenter as Arkansas takes on UCA. 3:02 first pitch. You can hear it on many of these ESPN Arkansas affiliates. Stay with us. We'll wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's very far away. It takes about a day to get there. If we travel by dragonfly. No, it's not in Spain. No, it's a game. And the wind's just right.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
C-Unit told us that his life was changed by listening to the first two Led Zeppelin albums. Have you heard of Jimi Hendrix, C-Unit? Matt, I really
yes,
hope
I have.
I was going to say, I hope he really says yes then.
I have heard of Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, that's good. So, and I'm not sure if we're going to teach you too much about that. The Doors this next weekend will be really good. You'll enjoy that quite a bit. So good. You've got your halftime homework for the weekend. How about Bobby Portis last night? No Giannis, no problem. 28 points, and looks like the Bucks might. I mean, what is that? 6 straight wins now. I think, Matt. They're starting to. I guess they're not questioning the coaching change too much right now.
I mean, that's a good Clippers team. I know you get them at home. Dame Lillard, 41 minutes, 41 points. 13 of 13 from the free throw line. Bobby P, man, his game's been so fun to watch, and to watch him mature and to watch him play. He's such an efficient player. His WAR, he's a guy that you want on the team because of his WAR, and he's kind of using that 6-man role. Smart basketball player, can hit an open jump shot. You have to defend him when he's on the floor. Their best defensive player is Bobby Portis. I know you got Patrick Beverly. He's kind of what they're trying to do, make up for the Drew Holiday trade, or getting rid of Drew Holiday, and getting Dame. But Bobby P, man, how fun was that?
It's like 6 times now he scored 20 points or more. 31 is the season high for Bobby Portis. But man, I mean, you pretty much count on him for like at least 15 and 8 or 9 rebounds a game right now.
Yeah, he can have a double-double any day. He's so efficient. 1 turnover and all that time right there. That's the thing. He makes the right play. He's such an unselfish player. He's in the right spot on the defensive side. He knows how to slide. He knows how to rotate. He knows how to defend. He's great rebounder.
All the things that it takes to be a pro.
Well, that's if you're on your team and you want a 6-man, you want a guy. That's the guy. I think Bobby Portis probably wins the 6-man of the year this year. I'm trying to look at people that watch the NBA a little more than I do. Probably might have a better handle on it. But I could see Bobby P. I mean, he got invited to. He made the first cut for to go to Paris, and I don't know how that all boils down. But I know if they're wondering about bigs and wondering about going to play, Anthony Davis is, you're looking at guys that are locks. But if anything's a problem, I have no problem taking Bobby Portis as one of my bigs on the Olympic team.
13 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, a little over 1 assist, and 24 minutes per game, coming off the bench every time but once. This is his 11th year. I mean, he's got the kind of game that can last a long time. Obviously, Beverly stuck around a long time. Joe Johnson played what was it, 20? Did he play like
Joe played
18, 19 years?
Yeah, because he came back. He was 02, 03, I think was his last year. Oh, no, sorry. 0001 was his last year up there on the hill. But you remember he got a 10-day call-up? He was playing in the Big Three.
Yeah.
Ice Cube for a year or two.
It was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, got a call up. I think we were doing the show, so he's been a while since we've been doing the show. Yeah,
you do get some good grizzled veterans out of Arkansas with lengthy NBA careers. I mean, Jalen Williams is going to be around a long time. You could see Isaiah Joe sticking around a long time. Anthony Black, a long time in the NBA. You know, I mean, that's a tough league to be hanging around in for 15 to 20 years.
It was. I got to see some highlights of Ricky Council getting in a little bit and just showing his athleticism. He's so athletic. He's fun when he gets it going.
Gives you a good feeling of internal gratification when those guys make it from Arkansas, not just to the league, but stick around a long, long time.
Always pulling for the Arkansas guys, man. You know, you're pulling for Anthony Black. You're pulling for Jordan Walsh. You're pulling for Nick Smith. I even pull for Malik Monk and Austin Reeves. You know, if you're born and raised in Arkansas, going out there and doing your thing, I'm pulling for you. And if you come up there to the University of Arkansas and you know you're an alum, you're part of the family up there, you're always pulling for the former Razorbacks.
Give us an assignment for the next hour. If anybody could let me know. Who is the longest tenured professional sport athlete ever to come out of the University of Arkansas? Is it Jason Peters? Now, I'm talking team sports, not an individual sport. So I guess we're just looking at the NBA and Major League Baseball and
Baseball,
the NFL.
basketball, football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder who's got the longest pro career.
Peters and Joe Johnson definitely had some length to it, that's for sure.
877-377-6963 if you got the answers to that on our McClarty Daniel hotline, or even if you don't.
Joe Ferg, I want to say he played over 14, 15 years, you know, so that's I don't think he's the longest, but, man, he played for a while.
Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in about 20 minutes, and the second hour of halftime in just a moment.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball, with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy. Our high temperatures today, low to mid 70s. We'll see just a few showers of storms tonight, especially across the south. Overnight lows will be right around 50, and then we'll start to dry things out a little bit later on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
What's able one Razorback?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
It's the second hour of halftime, so I'll take my seat now after standing up for the entire first hour. It helps. It helps. I'm in that time of the year where I spend way too much time in the car, and if I get an opportunity to stand up for an hour, I think I got to take that opportunity. Pretty soon, Matt, it's just I'll be folding myself in and out of cars, and I've been doing that for the last few months. But this time of the year, it's a little different, a little crazier. It's almost like my natural way to stand right now is to kind of like be a potato bug and get into that somersault position. I need somebody to stretch me out, crack my back, something like that. So we got some answers here, maybe answers. I don't know if answers are the right word, but guesses. Longest professional career in any of the 3 major leagues coming from the University of Arkansas. Joe Johnson, 18 seasons. That counts now. Matt texted in on the McClarty Daniel hotline that said Joe played 17 years, but that 10-day contract makes it 18 years.
He got another year. Yeah.
He did get one more season's worth. So that's the longest NBA career from the University of Arkansas.
I was going to say, I know Oliver Miller hung around for 12, 13, 14 years. Joe Klein played for
16.
16. Big Joe from Slater Mo.
16 years. Yep.
Got him a Joe Montana.
Alvin Robertson played 12. Darrell Walker, 10. Corliss was in the league for 12 years. And Bobby Portis is going to be making it. This is his 12th year.
Man, time goes, doesn't it?
No kidding. Can you believe that? It's been 12 years?
Bobby Portis.
He was 2 years out of Arkansas. He played 2 years for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, he dose, yeah.
That 18 years in the NBA is a long time. Heck, I feel like 5 years in the NBA is a long time. I didn't look it up, but there's no other Razorback that had a longer pro football career than Jason Peters, and is still going. 20 years, 21 or 22 years. And we'll just assume that, I don't remember if he signed with anybody for this next year, but if he wants to sign with somebody, was it Seattle that he played with last year?
They had some injuries. Yeah, he had to come in and play. You talk about one of the best athletes ever been around. I mean, he was just
you've told us what he was like as a basketball player too.
Built different. Built different, just unbelievable talent. Good dude, man. He was a good teammate. He was always cool.
Well, he's one of those guys. You don't have to report to minicamp. You don't have to report to preseason camp. None of that stuff. It's like you call him if he wants to play. Go ahead.
He's a Joe Flacco now. He doesn't. He's
off the couch.
Yeah, when Brett Favre, man, he doesn't need camp. He knows what's going on. His is just is he healthy, and because he can move. If he's healthy and can move his feet, and he knows what's up and gets in shape, Yeah, he can do it. He knows what to do. Yeah.
He long arms, right? He had those arms that I guess you would talk about if you want to be a tackle.
Yeah, no, arms and strength, no question about it. But it was his feet, man. He had like a little Akeem Olajuwon dream shake out there on the hoop court, and you were like, whoa, like you couldn't believe how quick his feet were. That's one of the things, and I tell these kids, you tell them, man, play every sport you can in 7th grade and 8th grade, and go from sport to sport to sport. You're learning concepts. You're learning fundamentals. You know, doing a kick step pass drop. You know, when you're dropping back like that, there's not a whole lot difference in guarding the ball in basketball when you have your feet spread, and not a lot of difference than when you're playing right field and getting down in a stance to take off one way. You know, there's all this stuff translates over to another sport. And then you're getting to compete. You're not taking it off. You're not going to the off season to go watch movies and to go do whatever, get your 37-minute workout in. You're still competing. That's the biggest part of it.
Longest Major League Baseball career out of the University of Arkansas, Cliff Lee, 13 years as a pitcher. Dallas Keuchel played for 12. I guess he's got a 13th potentially. Potentially. Hinsky played 12. And that's it. Tough to have a long career in any of these.
You
sports.
just had Craig Gentry on. Didn't he play 9? Is that what you said?
I think it was 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And he stayed up there by doing a lot of those little things. You know, running the bases, making plays in the field.
How many home runs did he have? I know you looked up his stats. Did he have a home run?
No, I don't remember, but I'm gonna think 3? It was probably like maybe 9 for his career.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know if he had
maybe 2 of them might have been inside the park.
That's what I was going to say. I bet he had 10 times more stolen bases than he did home runs.
Take a call here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Alyssa Orange coming up in just a moment. Charlie's there. What's up, Charlie? How are you?
So you guys are doing a little trivia. I'm not gonna take a swing at it because I feel like you guys said all the names that I would.
Yeah, I feel like I gave you the answers. If you could give me the former Razorback that had the longest career in the NHL, I'll take your answer.
Hey, no way. Because the first person that came to my mind was Joe Johnson, and you said it. So ain't no way
I'll bet you Joe could have played hockey.
He probably could. I bet Peters. I don't know, man. Peters, like Matt said, he had some feet. You know, I mean, that sucker. Hey, Matt, could he hoop too? I wouldn't want.
You remember Robert Tracked It Trailer that played at Michigan?
Yes, looks like a defensive tackle.
That's Jason Peters. Just remember his game. Peters can do that. That's how. Yeah, he was. Man, he was. And you couldn't move him. Is the thing. He gets on his block and he gets position. You're not leaning on him and moving him.
Tractor Trailer, man. That was one of those nicknames that go along with Big Baby.
Big Baby Glenn Davis.
That's right.
Yeah, like what's the coolest nickname of all time? Like out of a athlete, Big Baby, I guess would be up there.
I don't know if I'd want that nickname. I really don't.
That's true. That's true.
I'd take Big Nasty. You're going to go with like Razorback. I'd take Big Nasty in a heartbeat.
100%. That's a good one.
Hey, you got a kid who's pitching. You got a kid who's pitching today for Arkansas. His nickname is Big Tuna. Everybody gets a big thrown into their nickname. No one's ever little.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm a little at conflict here, Phil. Because I mean, this guy is a stud, and so I'm trying to move. I don't want. Listen, I'm not taking no shine away from. He can be the big Tuna. I'll just be the halftime show Tuna or something like that. I don't know. Because, I mean, this dude, when I watch him play, I'm super impressed with him. He's unbelievable to watch. And I would say one of the coolest names for me would be like Megatron. That's up there. But anyway, I was going to ask you, you had pointed out the other day about Khalif, kind of going off against bad teams. And the way he played against Kentucky, I'm sure you probably already said this. Is that he's one of those guys, because you had mentioned like maybe possibly wanting to keep a couple guys. I'm like you. If I had to pick between him and Mark, I would choose Mark, only because of the simple fact that I think Mark has been the more consistent option all year long, and plus, defensively his length and all that. I don't think Mark's even healthy. I think his shoulder's giving him a lot of issues, but he's gutting it out. So I would take Mark, but it would be cool to keep those. NIL-wise, can we pay them?
I don't see why you can't.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'll let you guys talk. I'll hang up and listen. Excited about the game today. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Battle's on. So you called it the purple patch.
Mhm.
It's been a 3-game purple patch. 42 points, 36 points, 34 points, and scoring from every angle. But really,
40% of it's coming from the line.
Getting to the foul line a ton. That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, he scored. That's 28. That's, man. It's like it's almost. I think it's like 45 points at the foul line during these last 3 games. But this also goes along with it. It has been. So what is today? March the 5th. Let's look a month back. February 3rd at LSU, Battle played almost 9 minutes and did not score. And then was out there against Georgia for 2.5 minutes and did not score. I mean, these aren't like the DNP that he had against A&M. This was a month ago. I mean, it's a purple patch. He had no patch at all a month ago.
No, I mean, it's a tribute to him. It's easy when you're not playing, or if you think you should be, or something's not going the right way, you're not winning. It's easy to point the finger and blame somebody else, or say, "See, coach, I didn't play," or "My man didn't score." Whatever you want to say, but he didn't. He didn't blame anybody else. He just took it upon himself to keep working and keep getting better. And it's the fruits of his labor. It's showing off. And to your point, yeah, 1 and 2. That's you can't really say a whole lot, but he's given us a chance. Is the thing. Without him, we wouldn't have had a chance at Kentucky. Now, can he come back? That's my question. Is
I think so.
Because Mark, I thought somebody told me Mark had 3 years left, or it's something just crazy how much time he has left with this COVID. I saw where Battles says that he's a senior. I guess the thing would be, is he going to walk? You know, how many of these seniors walk against LSU? That might tell us something. But no question. I think, man, there's such an improvement in kids, Phil, from year 1 to year 2, being under the system, understanding what you're supposed to do, getting familiar with the coach, and not only getting familiar with the coach, but the coach gets familiar with you, what you do well as well. I think if you could get Battle and Mark back, if Blocker come back, you got to find a point guard for this next group for next year. There's no question about it. You got to have a point. You need 2. You look at the top teams in college basketball. You got to have a couple guards. You do. So, but you're going to have to protect the paint as well. I think Mitchell's gone. You hope Bay Fall continues to progress and continue to grow. Gonna have to. We got to go get a couple guys though in the transfer portal.
Well, Battle does have another year of eligibility. He must have gotten a medical red shirt a few years ago in Temple. Tremont Mark has 2 years of eligibility left.
Yeah. Those are guys you can build around. I mean, you think about it. You're looking at what you can do next year. There are guys in the SEC that can play. They're not going to have the length as some of these guys. Coach Z said, you look at Kentucky, they had 5 NBA guys on their team. We don't have 5 NBA guys on our team. So we got to get a little better athletically. If we're going to go bring in some guys, they're going to have to be some first-class guys.
We'll bring in Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in just a moment on Halftime.
Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha, and the road show continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win, come from behind style in the 9th inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omahas.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more, do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hog fans, you can call the Hogs in Paris. Cheer on the historic Razorback track and field program as they chase their 50th national title with season tickets for just $40. With each season ticket purchased for regular season meets in Fayetteville, you'll be entered to win a round-trip flight for 2 to Paris, France to watch the Razorbacks compete on the world's biggest stage this summer. Join the chase today and call the Hogs in Paris by securing your ticket at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage. Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you call me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, I can see it, yeah. Blossom, there and there.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I hear the sound of J.J. Gray and Mofro in the background. That means that it's time to talk with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation. Appreciate her time every Tuesday on Halftime. Hey, Alyssa, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Good to be with you this week. I'm good.
Absolutely, yeah. Headed to South Carolina with women's basketball later today. Got the Auburn Tigers on Thursday, hoping to see a win. I won't predict 2 because LSU awaits the winner of that game. But this is right now it's a women's basketball team, Alyssa, that I think they need rest, maybe more than anything else. A win over Auburn would be nice, but a loss also means, about 2 weeks until you play again, and they could use those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. But I also think, too, when you look at it and they're on a 4-game losing streak, it'd be nice to get a win heading into that postseason, maybe get a little bit of that confidence back. So you get a win over Auburn, maybe you lose to LSU, you get to go home, still get some rest. But I think for the sake of this team, a win would just do really, really good for them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we certainly will. You're going to hear from Sam Pittman later today.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, what is it you wanted? What is the you get a question? What's your first question?
My first question is, what did you learn from the 2023 football season? What did it teach you? I really want to know, because I know that he's been really open about it in some interviews that he's done about what he learned in that 2023 season with what went wrong and where things didn't really work out. As we move into this season where he knows it's a big year for him in terms of what the future looks like at Arkansas. So I'd like to hear from Sam Pittman on what he learned looking back at 2023. And then also, I think the biggest question everyone wants to hear about is a quarterback battle. It's been quite a while since we really, truly had one. And, I say that with knowing that, it might be one of those things where we don't know until the fall. Or it might be really, really quickly where Taylon Green sets himself apart or Jacoby Criswell is setting himself apart. We're not really sure, but I'm interested to see how both of these quarterbacks are adjusting to Bobby Petrino. Matt, you're probably going to think this is funny, but I was talking to my husband, and, if you don't know, my husband runs Hogs Plus, and I sometimes get a little marital privilege like I call it, but he said he was over there doing some stuff, and the quarterback room, the meeting room, used to have tables on the side and had pictures of all the old quarterbacks on the wall. And he said, they're gone. Those are gone. And it's a table in the middle of the room, and there are whiteboards on all the walls. And he just laughed and was like, that's Bobby Petrino. He wants the focus of his quarterback. So I'm interested there.
Yeah, we're going to need good quarterback play. Alyssa, I'm kind of interested to see the group of receivers. I didn't know if we would get some in the transfer portal or what's going on, but I feel like anytime Petrino goes somewhere, not only do quarterbacks lift their play, but if you're going by his first run when he was here, a lot of great receivers came through when he was here. So I'm excited to get a little more production. And you look in the NFL. Guys have 2, 3, 4 receivers that they're throwing it all over the park. Hopefully that's beneficial, and we can get some receivers up here at Arkansas.
Yeah, I think so, and we know that they're going to be able to bring them in. That's something that Petrino does well, like you mentioned. I want to see the development of the guys who are still here, like Andrew Armstrong and Isaac Tesla, and developing the guys that we do had talent and saw such promise from during fall camp, and then obviously 2023 unfolded the way that it did, and I don't know if anyone would go back and be happy with the way that they performed overall, big picture. So looking at those guys and see how the development grows with the guys that they already have, and then also, you got a brand new guy, regardless of who it is, throwing you the football, and so how does that chemistry build this spring too is exciting.
What about the idea of the in-helmet communication now? Cody from Lavaca wanted somebody to ask Pittman about the earpiece being in the quarterback's ear. Well, he's going to be connected to Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
And this can only lead to good things, right? Nothing bad can come from that.
Yeah. Well, you also think of, too, the line of communication, right? So where that line of communication is, and obviously Sam will be a part of all of that communication. And what that looks like. And I think it's smart, and I think it could change the game in terms of the speed of the game and how things are run and the way that plays are being developed and unfolding. So I think that's a great question. I'll try to sneak that one in if I can for you.
I got another one, maybe not a question, but it's like, if you're looking about things that were learned from last year, It's a different offensive coordinator, but Sam was awfully deferential to Dan Enos last year, even in terms of, well, I mean, we know about it. I wanted things that were worked in practice to be put into practice in the games, and they weren't. So there, I feel like he obviously trusted Enos, or he wouldn't have hired him and given him all those reins to essentially hang himself. But with Petrino, like you must at least trust that what you worked on in practice and what worked in practice you'll try to execute that in the game.
You would hope so. And that's the thing too, is I don't see Sam making that same mistake twice and understanding. I guarantee you that was probably one of the biggest things that maybe him Petrino talked about. Was my biggest issue last year was that what we were practicing wasn't going into the game plan on Saturday. And I don't want that to happen anymore. And that conversation goes whatever way it goes, right, with Bobby Petrino, and it's understood. So you think that after last season, even if you don't feel like you have to say it, you have to say it because you just don't want to fall back on what you fell into last year.
Is tight end the strongest position? We've got questions about this position, that position, offensive line. You hope that there's a step forward. I got questions about linebacker. I think they're good at running back. Probably questions at wide receiver. But when it comes to Dylan Haas and Ty Washington, I guess the question is, can they stay healthy? Because they need to be healthy.
Yeah, Luke has. But yes, and I think, I think the biggest question is not if, because you're right, but more of how is Petrino going to use them in his offense and what that looks like. And we've seen guys who have come out of Petrino's system who's had success, like Chris Gregg. And so what does that tight end? How are they used? Can they be a real big force in this offense? Because you have such talent. And I mean, we were talking about it at some point last year. It was like, you got to just get the ball to Luke Haas. You just have to, right? And then you have to get the ball to Ty Washington. You just have to. So how do you continue to do that? That'll be exciting. I mean, I'm excited to hear from Pittman, but I'm also excited to just go to practice on Thursday. And he's talked about being much more open with these practices than he was in the past. And media will only be able to film some, but we'll get to stay for the full practice and actually see things so we can come back and talk about it, not like just talk about how well these guys are stretching. And then there are possibilities for fans on Saturdays to open up and see some of those practices too. So, I'm really looking forward to being able to see more than we've ever possibly been able to see under Sam Pittman and what that looks like, and not just hearing what he has to say today.
Hey, Alyssa, this basketball team has a game tomorrow against LSU. We've seen T. Mark have his purple patch. Mm-hmm. We've seen Mitchell kind of go crazy for about 5-6 games in a row, and now it's Battle's turn. Now we are 1-2 in these games, but does it feel like the team maybe has a little bit more of a smile on their face, maybe playing with a little bit of more confidence? I know when you're out there and you got a guy that can give you 30, it kind of feels like you have a chance to win that game.
I think so. And I also think, too, that they understand that if they want to be playing past the SEC tournament, they're going to have to win it. And it's one of those things in the NCAA tournament. What happens in the NIT, no one really truly has any idea. But you got to be playing well right now and play well to end the season. And also, I think, too, when you look at pride, you have swept Texas A&M and you have swept Missouri. And can you go in there and beat LSU? You would hope so. So I think they're finally getting it together. I'd hate to say it's a little too late, but they know that if they want to keep playing, they got to win in Nashville. And the best way to do that is to bring in some momentum into that tournament here in the next week.
Appreciate you, Alyssa. Always fun talking with you.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy Greenville.
Well, yeah, I'll stay there longer. I'll have a little bit more fun, that's for sure.
Okay. All right, Phil.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation, with us every Tuesday on Halftime. We'll be talking with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio at quarter after 1 o'clock. So the McClarty Daniel hotline's open for you right now. 877-377-6963. 6 locations for McClarty Daniel in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal is never far away. Always online at McClartyDaniel.com. Stay with halftime. Back in a moment.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for...
And the coaches, writers have him number 4. Just another week in the polls. 96 consecutive weeks that there has been a coaches poll for baseball. Arkansas has been in that poll. That's almost 7 years in a row. March 27th, 2017 is when the streak began. And it's not just like being in the poll. It's an average of being ranked anywhere from like 5th to 7th in the country, which is pretty darn impressive.
It's not called the fair poll. It's a totally different
This
thing.
is a very fair poll. They're just tabulating every vote like it's, every vote counts once. That's it. All right, here's an interesting situation going on involving spring ball in Gainesville. Hot seat time, right, for Billy Napier. What about when one of the 2 legendary coaches on that campus, and I think still the one that probably has more respect in Spurrier, who is in great health. Every once in a while, he'll show up at his restaurant, and he will literally hold court there with people. Steve Spurrier told the Florida Times-Union a couple of days ago, quote, "There's a feeling around the Gators of, what the heck are we doing around here? There are a lot of questions I don't have answers to about organization," unquote. That's a guy who won the Heisman there, won national championships there, carries some weight.
Well, there is chaos there. Phil, if you remember, you were there in Gainesville in the swamp. They beat themselves. Now Arkansas made enough plays to win the game. I'm not saying that. They rushed the guys out there and had the penalty come back. They had a field goal to do it. That was on the coaching staff. That's discipline. That's attention to detail. No question about that. That's the one thing I noticed about Florida. They have athletes. I'm with Spurrier on this. There's no reason Florida should be a bottom feeder. The talent that comes through that state, the talent they have, they looked undisciplined and they look like they didn't know what was going on all the time. So that's a bad look.
And you wonder how a program could come off like that when they have. And I don't remember the number. Do you remember this? Like with the week of the Florida game, we're looking on the roster page, on their coaches page, and their support staff. Like, if you think Arkansas has a lot of support staff for football, take a look at the Florida coaches page. I think there were like 60 staff members when you count not the graduate assistants. I mean, people that are paid to do a job there of some sort. However small that job is, they have a support staff. And I think this is what he's getting to here. He doesn't have answers about organization. It does seem to be a football program that's kind of run in a haphazard way. But you've got this huge staff and the bottom kind of falling out of there. I mean, they lost they lost a lot of their really good recruits. Like Napier's recruited well as far as getting kids to commit, as far as getting them to actually sign on paper on signing day. They had a lot of decommitments. They had trouble holding on to their class this last year.
They were soft on defense. That's one of the things I remember them last year on D. They weren't as they didn't really want to hit. The secondary was kind of light. There wasn't a whole lot of high motor guys on that defensive line front. They just weren't. Not that you can't turn it on and turn it off, but they just didn't. They didn't look like the Florida that you're used to seeing with all that talent. They were very underwhelming.
I mean, it's been a while since Florida was at an appreciable level of like where we think of Florida. And truthfully, like Miami's just been mediocre. Florida's been bad. And Florida State is the top program in that state right now. And truthfully, you could look at UCF as surpassing the Gators right now.
Yeah, UCF.
They do play each other this next year.
They get to play the Gators. You got Florida's going to play Florida State and UCF. Do they play? I wonder if they play Miami too, because we looked at their schedule.
I think they play them near the end of the regular season. Yeah,
that Florida Gators schedule. The question is, does Arkansas or Florida win more SEC games next year? And I'm going to say Arkansas.
I would think Arkansas too.
And I don't know how many teams I think Arkansas wins more.
Just on first glance,
that Florida schedule is it's a gauntlet. Now, I know last year, Arkansas always has a tough schedule. It's just part of it. I thought last year's schedule, that stretch we had where you had a road game, you had to go to Jerry's World, then road game, then road game, then road. Yeah,
never recovered from it.
Never couldn't. You had to win one of those, and we weren't able to.
Look, things really didn't look all that great going into that stretch either. But that's the stretch that kind of, it really felt like it broke the team. But you get 2 byes this year, so there's extra time for resting, which I know they'll be happy about. But yeah, nobody's ever going to have a stretch like that. 4 games away from your home stadium in a row. Not happening this year. Here's another bit of news that has to do with the labor situation in college sports. The Dartmouth men's basketball players voted to form a union. That was one of the, I think that was the decision made by the National Labor Relations Board, that Dartmouth basketball could form a union if they decided to. Well, they have decided to. And the next thing, I think, is for the school to appeal. Sooner or later, there's negotiations between the two. And it's another foot on the scale of players becoming labor and players getting paid directly by the school. Certainly is on its way approaching.
I wonder what the Dartmouth their pay scale is, because what didn't Northwestern kind of start this whole NIL movement a decade ago?
But they didn't. I don't know if they didn't vote to form the union or they voted to form it but didn't actually do it. But you're right. I mean, it started there. I mean, it would start at a place like a Northwestern or like a Stanford or any of the Ivy League schools and make perfect sense. But then it all filters from there. It just takes one decision to say, well, they can do it. Anybody else can do it too. More evidence that this is all really this whole college sports thing is kind of coming to an end, or at least turning into something that's completely different. Dan in Mount Ida predicted a UCF victory over Florida the day that KJ transferred.
That's going to be an interesting watch. Just as much as I'm interested in the Hogs, you're kind of interested in Rocket Sanders going over there to South Carolina, seeing if he has any success. And a guy he's familiar with, and Dow Loggins, and they'll know how they'll be comfortable with each other. They lost Spencer Rattler, who they had the combine. I heard J.J. McCartney's going up, and they said Spencer Rattler's his stock's on the rise. So it'd be interesting to see who their quarterback is. And then Pooh Paul, I think he was our best defensive player. I don't know that, you talk about Drew Sanders and I know Chuck says we'll get somebody in, he's going to be just as good. I hope Chuck's right. I hope whoever comes in and replaces him, their war is close enough, because there was a difference when Pooh Paul was out there. I mean, you could just see him flash. He's going to get the whole thing is he's going to get drafted to play in the NFL. Going to Ole Miss doesn't help his draft status.
Right.
So it's all about a money grab and going there. And in Ole Miss, you talk about the pressure, and we kind of talked a little bit about Lamont Parrish and the Ricky Barnes at Tennessee. What about
Beamer?
Yeah, but what about Les Miles? Not Les Miles, Lane Kiffin. What about his pressure? Because it's all on Ole Miss. Ole Miss right now, if you go SEC,
like they're at a place they've never been
in the East, and it's Ole Miss, and everybody's picking Ole Miss to win the title. So when they hit a little bit of adversity, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
You're right about though. This is the year that Ole Miss is supposed to beat Alabama. This is the year that, with Alabama theoretically down, that they should get. Where have they been the last couple of years? I mean, they won 11 games, counting the bowl game. This is the year for them to make a playoff, essentially. Well, is it playoff or bust for Kiffin at Ole Miss?
Absolutely it is. And you look at last year at LSU, and they lost that very first game of the year to Florida State. and what they had one or two more losses, but they were kind of out of it. LSU was out of it early because I think they played Alabama early. They had 2 losses in the first 5 games. They, do you let go of the rope? Do they struggle a little bit? Do you get some dissension in the team? Ole Miss is going to be an interesting study, and it's going to be magnified is the thing. Everybody is going to be looking at Ole Miss the entire time.
Well, they're so jacked up at Ole Miss to at least get football started. Do you remember they released their schedule a day before the rest of the SEC did? And I think they did it without getting some sort of clearance from the league office. Yeah, go ahead and do this. They were just ready to release it. That's how excited they are for football at the University of Michigan.
They let Junkins walk. They let the best running back in.
I think the feeling for them there is that they feel they got better without him. Like there was some toxic stuff, I think, going on between him and maybe Jackson Dart.
Well, the locker room could be an issue. Didn't last year Ole Miss had a guy that was trying to be a weasel, like he kind of went in with Lane and tried to record something. Didn't Ole Miss have
that's
something?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that was it was a mental health thing. The kid
was so in the wrong.
Yeah. He didn't show up for team meetings. He didn't show up for a meeting with the coach,
and then came in trying to record him. That was. So they have some of that going on there, and I think the NIL does breed a little jealousy when you have 18, 19-year-old kids and. They're all talking. You're saying I'm getting this amount of money. I'm getting this amount of money, and then kids, it's hard. I think for kids to say, "Well, I'm better than him. How's he making more money than me?" And it goes into that performance base, but it's not supposed to be on performance base.
See the schedule for Ole Miss: Furman, Middle Tennessee, at Wake Forest, Georgia Southern. First SEC game isn't until week 5.
South Carolina,
Kentucky.
Oh, so
then they visit Carolina.
So they'll be 6-0.
Then it's at LSU.
There's your game right there, at LSU.
Oklahoma comes to Ole Miss after a bye. That's their last game of October. Then it's in Fayetteville, November 2nd. Georgia visiting Oxford. They get at Oklahoma and Georgia and LSU. And then they visit Florida, which good luck Florida, and then they close out with the Egg Bowl.
10-2 gets you in. They can go 10-2 in that deal right there with all the talent they had. The other thing is Jackson Dart's coming back. It's another year. He's going to be better. I thought he was okay this year.
Hey, he could be just like Jefferson in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He can just fly in for the games on his private jet.
There you go.
What a life. Well, do you think Quinshon Judkins is getting the same private jet deal?
Yes.
Could.
Yes, Ohio State scares me. Out of all the other teams that aren't in the SEC, Phil, Ohio State scares me the most next year.
We'll close out the second hour of halftime in just a moment. You want to send us a text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. More in a moment.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PBS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, revenge. I'm mad. The big pay. Get back. Need some get back. Pay back. Pay back. That's it. Pay back. I'm mad. Get down with my girlfriend. That is right.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And the Hogs deliver a little payback tomorrow for a loss in Baton Rouge, Matt. Better get that played on the bus.
It'd be those kids these days, they don't, that's not what they listen to Drake.
You got to be able to hear James Brown.
Well, you would think so. You got to teach the children well. You know, you got to teach them young. I think we're failing the kids that way. That's for sure. Man, LSU jumped out on us. Looking at like some of their position players, you know, we don't have a guy that can guard Baker. You know, so they have some athletes that they were bringing in. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared, a little nervous about this Razorback team playing against LSU, because they're not just going to throw the ball out there and say we're going to play regular man, and they're going to mix it up and make Arkansas think. And not, that's the thing. Kentucky never messed with Arkansas. I mean, we had it going on the first 20, 27, 33 minutes of that basketball game, just doing what both sides shooting 53%. This game's going to look totally different than that Arkansas-Kentucky game.
I've been around teams that have had some really bad seasons before. It's been rare for it to happen at Arkansas, where I'm around the players and everything. But at this point of the year, it's almost like the story's written. I can't help but wonder if they go into each game thinking, we're playing hard. we're listening to coach. We're trying to buy in, and we just can't get it done. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy anytime you take the court. I've been around some baseball teams that, look, they would never admit it publicly, but you go into a game sometimes just wondering, how are we going to lose this one? We may play well at times. We might take a lead. I remember thinking with some baseball games, you're up 2-0, you're up 3-0 in the fourth inning. Oh my gosh, how are they going to lose this one? And many more times than not, when you have the body work to go by, that's exactly what happened. And you got to go into every game hoping, feeling that you're prepared, that you can win. But the body of work at this time kind of speaks to you.
Yeah, you are who you are. That's for sure. This team, they just don't make enough of the little basketball plays. It's like I said, we shoot 52%, our opponent shoots 56%. We get 29 rebounds, our opponent gets 34. We've just been second best all year, and you look at it, and I try to be, objectional as far as like try to look at it like honestly. And when I look at us playing, especially against the top couple teams, we don't have a lot of guys that are going to go start or take up minutes. How many guys we got taking up minutes for Tennessee? How many guys we have taking up minutes for Florida that would be so we're kind of starting under. I mean, our SEC caliber of athlete, we don't match up with a lot of these teams. So we're out there just doing our best.
877-377-6963 when you want to get in with that. That's a 6 o'clock tip tomorrow at Bud Walton Arena. Senior day. What's the longest tenured senior on the team right now? Is it Mitchell? A couple years?
Ellis. Debo.
Well, that's true, but there is another year of eligibility if he would choose to use it. But I guess now you go through
Graham. Graham doesn't have a year left, right? Does he not have?
I don't even know his situation. Like if he's figured out his academic situation, he wasn't in Lexington because of trying to fix something with academics. I think is what the statement said from the press release.
Well, Mitchell, if you look at his game log, he's only had one dud in his last 5 games. Mississippi State 21, A&M 22, Mizzou he had 13, Vanderbilt the big 0. Came back against Kentucky, played well, very efficient. Mitchell's going to have to play LSU. Our bigs are going to have to play good if we want to beat LSU.
We'll be back for hour number 3 in just a moment. We have Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 20 minutes to kick around, really, the massive changes across college football and what the playoff could look like and why the SEC and the Big Ten really don't care if they've got partners moving forward. Calls and texts in just a moment. Stay with Halftime.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith.
Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy. Our high temperatures today, low to mid 70s. We'll see just a few showers or storms tonight, especially across the south. Overnight lows will be right around 50, and then we'll start to dry things out a little bit later on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios, broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
What's able one Razorback?
Second half, very happy.
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Third hour, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and the C Unit, Kristen Johnson, is producing. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Bill King is coming up in about, 15 minutes or so. And let's get a look and see at some of the things going on here. Arch Manning is opting out of the EA Sports College football game. So it's $600 essentially is what he's saying no to. So if he does opt out, and this is from a Texas Longhorns insider who has made the report about this, Anwar Richardson is his name, then if you do choose Texas, I know one listener here that will probably play Texas every chance he gets to be Texas. He'll just have an unnamed avatar that probably has a howitzer of an arm.
Maybe you can get QB Eagles to be. He was the best QB on. Well, I liked Warren Moon on Tecmo Bowl, but Randall Cunningham, he didn't have one, so he had QB Eagles. But he's betting on himself essentially. Mm-hmm. So if he does good and dominates, they'll import him in. They'll play live game action how it is, and they'll pay him money and they'll put it in there. So,
but the report is saying that he and his family want him to just focus on football. Now, I think we get things a little mixed up with Manning because of what On3 said his NIL valuation is. It doesn't mean he's putting it into practice. As far as what I know, and this is just reading on the report about this, he only has the one NIL deal, and it's with Panini, the trading card company, and all of the money that he gets from them is going to charity. So it seems to me that he doesn't necessarily view NIL as the money-making opportunity. I think he views in the future the NFL as the money-making opportunity. He's just trying to focus on football.
kind of weird if you're giving it all to charity and then you're turning that down when you could be giving it to charity.
That's a good point too. No, that's a very good point. Maybe he's starting his own video game.
Yeah, there's something else going on in there, because if that's what you're saying and that's what you're doing, then it just seems funny.
Well, and I agree with you on this idea. So all you're doing is saying yes. Like, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to like stand in for some kind of a photo session. If you say yes, you can use my name and my image and my likeness and give me the $600 and the $70 version of the game. So it's not like it really would take his mind away from football. It's just saying yes and where's my money. That's it. So I think you may be onto something there. Well, let's take a phone call. We've got Chris in Springdale, held through the last break. He's on the McClarty Daniel hotline right now. Chris, how you doing? Thanks for the call.
Doing good. How are you guys?
Great, thank you.
Good. I just wanted to call in and wanted to thank you guys for what you're doing with C Money here in the music. Really inspiring to follow his journey with all this classic music. It's really awesome. I think you guys made a great pick going with the Doors for the second selection for music. Those first two Doors albums are awesome. They're probably the only recording artist I know of that had number one hits like Light My Fire and Hello, I Love You, and then they also had really epic songs like, the 10-minute long When the Music's Over and The End, and, some avant-garde beat style poetry like Celebration of the Lizard and Horse Latitudes. C Money will hear that whenever he listens to Strange Days. So really inspired by that, and I think it's really, really cool. And, just continue the journey, C Money. I think you're really, these guys are really steering you in the right direction.
We're just trying to educate the youth is what it comes down to, Chris. I appreciate that phone call. Thank you. We're professors here for him. Now, I mean, I need to be taught about plenty of things from the 60s and the 70s as far as pop culture and music too, but I'm just like passing along what the parents did. You know what the parents did for me, Matt, is they just made their vinyl collection available to me.
There you go.
Have at it.
Yeah, I think James Morrison, his pops was a colonel in the Army. I don't think he was too impressed with his son back in the day. But movie, you gonna watch the movie first? I would say watch the movie first and then dive into the tunes.
Good idea.
All right.
But if you want to listen to some music today, listen to it. But
you realize he'll do anything that we tell him to do now.
The Oliver Stone.
Y'all have led me to some great music, some great movies. So,
and maybe this can be your introduction to Meg Ryan.
Nobody's ever cared enough to suggest me watch movies or.
And then you're going to see.
No one's cared enough.
Ever cared enough.
You saw your Reservoir Dogs. You saw Michael Madsen's character, right?
Yeah.
He'll be in this one as well. He'll be in the Doors movie. So.
I think he does need an introduction to Meg Ryan.
You're going to get to see Meg Ryan at her peak. This is 1992 Meg Ryan. She was dominating.
You've seen the original Top Gun, right? Because that's when I was introduced to Meg Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah, she was Goose's wife.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Wow, it's like you've seen that movie before.
Great balls of fire.
That's Matt Jones singing on halftime. So we could also take, he's supposed to listen to the first two Doors albums. The first one ends with The End, which should take you right into Apocalypse Now. Which
is that another Oliver Stone?
No. That was I'm forgetting names now all of a sudden, and I shouldn't. But that's one that I think he needs to see too. Man, this is great. See, we've inspired our listeners.
Apocalypto. Have you seen that one?
That one I haven't seen. That's the Mel Gibson movie.
That is one of my favorite. That's a top 10 movie all time right there. That's up there with Shawshank Redemption and Unforgiven, Goodfellas, Godfather. Apocalypto, intense, very cool, very just like, it's one of those movies it's not weird necessarily, is when you get done watching it, you're like, it makes you think. You're like, wow.
That's the way I felt about watching Apocalypse Now, which was a Coppola. That's a Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
And the making of that movie itself was crazy enough to make a movie about the making of the movie.
Wow.
Huh?
Sounds like The Matrix or something.
Like, the Matrix can't hold a candle to this stuff. And I love the Matrix movies. Don't get me wrong. You can do it with Keanu Reeves. Now, you don't need any education on Keanu Reeves. You know enough about him. But this is right. I mean, so the Doors takes you to, it's a door. Opens something up for you. It's going to take you to learn about Meg Ryan and about Apocalypse Now. And you'll continue to thank us. Like, he literally, Matt, he'll do anything we ask now. In terms of pop culture, now's the time to put him on to, I did this with Ty once, forced him to watch the worst movie of the 80s, one of the two worst movies of the 80s, Howard the Duck and Ishtar. Get you to watch those.
He still hasn't watched Forrest Gump.
Well, Ty's also putting tweets out asking for recommendations on like products for growing hair. Like, he tweeted about this an hour ago. He wants recommendations on shampoo, conditioner, and spray to help you regrow hair. And I'm just going to tell you this, Ty, give up. Once it starts, it's not stopping. Do this in a respectful way. Just like me and Matt did.
Yeah. Just let it go. Rock a Band-Aid. Go work on your golf game.
Rock a Band-Aid.
That way you don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I will pay money to watch Ty Richardson shave his head, and then when he goes to sleep, I'll shave his eyebrows.
I told him, I said, man, Ty, I would never cut your hair. If you got the locks like that, man, I'd let it go. And because I think I was 21, maybe 22. When my hair started to fade. So if you got it, man, go ahead, keep it as long as you can.
Started for me in late teenage years. Well, it's part of it is because of DNA.
I had the Chris Kamen effect though. Like, it was just going thin, but it's still trying to hang on. You're like, oh, and then it's thin again. And you're just like, I couldn't. Chris Kamen, he tried to rock it a little too long.
He had the very thin hair going on, right? Long, thin hair, never a really good look. Yeah, back when I actually had a stylist. When I was growing up, and even in the teenage years, she would start to warn me about, stop wearing a hat all the time and start blow drying your hair. You look at her and be like, you're so nice. You're so sweet and pretty. There's nothing I can do about this. Can I introduce you to my grandfather? Can I introduce you to my dad? There's nothing. I'm just going to wear a hat for the rest of my life. It's nice that you care. It is.
Well, at least your head's shaped all right. It's not shaped like an almond or something.
Not quite like Linus. You want to talk about thin hair? Linus from the Peanuts. Thinnest hair, weirder shape head, but apparently he was supposed to be the smartest one of them. Go figure. Always had that blanket with him, too. Hey, right now at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, you get your sales tax paid in full on any new remaining 2023 model in stock. But there's really not a lot of time left because they've been snapped up. There's a limited selection. There's a few of them left. Any new 2023 models in stock at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, they will pay your sales tax for you in full. Get over to see Crabtree RV Center, where I-40 and I-49 come together right beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, or online at crabtreerv.com. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in just a moment on Halftime.
Three on the way, and it's gone. Devo, it is over. Down goes Auburn. The number one team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena. They are rushing the floor at Bud Walton Arena.
Hey, don't do that. No.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Whacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All I wanna do is my zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. All I wanna do is my zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. All I wanna do is my zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. All I wanna do is my zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3. Check, baby, 1, 2. Check, baby, 1.
It's called the one shaker. The piece is like sweeter than candy. I'm feeling manly and your shaker's coming in handy. Sliding my clothes from New York down by your Virginia. Tickling you around Delaware before I enter. Dope to seduction from face hips to feet. A wiggle and a tickle can make the night complete. And since you got the body of the year, come and get the award. Here's a hint, it's like a long, sharp sword. Flip tail, so let me see you shake it up like dice. The way you shake it up is turning mighty men of might. But A plus got a surprise, that's a backbreaker. Now let me see you shake it up like a rough shaker.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
We're working on getting Bill King connected here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We'll have him pretty soon. College football note, and a former Razorback who lost some weight. South Carolina running back Rocket Sanders. What was it last year? 245, something like that. He's down 20. He's down more than 20 pounds in his for his first year of spring ball with the South Carolina Gamecocks. I guess the weight really seemed to have a negative effect on him last year. It didn't seem to have as much speed, and of course he went into the season with I think a knee injury.
Yeah, well, the year before he finished up playing in that bowl game and had some knee issues. Yeah, it was just a bad year all around. I'm looking forward to see what he does. Just the fact that you forget. I mean, I don't forget, but let's don't forget. Dude was all conference first, second team all conference type of guy. Like he's an All-American. He was an All-American last year. He was our one All-American. The dude can go. He can flat out play. I have a if he's healthy, there's no reason that this kid, the way he catches the ball in the screen game, the things he can do, he knows how to pick up blocks. He runs. His vision. That was the thing. His vision was one of my favorites coming into last year. Just from watching him the year before, I thought his vision was just superb. So I think he'll have over 2,000 yards total, Phil. If you want to go rushing and receiving, no, I don't. I mean, what is there? 12 games, 13 games at South Carolina. I mean, 1,700 yards. I think would be like his minimum. I think he's going to ball out.
Jaquindon Jackson is the newest Razorback running back that at least has played somewhere else.
I like his game. I saw him play somehow, me and one of my buddies doing a fantasy football college. He was one of our running backs, so I got to watch him play a little bit last year. Saw the year before. He's a tough, physical guy. Played high school ball in Texas.
Duncanville.
Yeah, that's your boy AB. Yeah, so he'll fit in fine. He's gonna be okay. I think he'll be perfect with the backs that we have, Phil. That's one thing. If you were to say on offense, if you were to say what is our best position, I would say it's tight end, and then I would say it's running back.
He must have played with AB. Remember, he was wide receiver, right? Anthony Black?
Well, Junkins has been in the league he's been in college for 4 years.
Fourth year.
AB's a one and done, so they missed each other.
Yeah, they might have been in high school together for like 2 years.
A senior, ninth grader type thing.
Yeah, so you're probably right. They probably didn't play together. He's played, according to the Utah page, quarterback and running back as well. Mostly, obviously, a running back. 3 100-yard games last year. Braylon Russell, Sam says a lot of good things about him. That's the kid out of Little Rock. I think it was Parkview is where he went. Rashad Dubinion coming back. Dominique Johnson is back.
Augusta.
And Isaiah Augusta.
I like Augusta.
5 guys right there, man. That's 5.
We're going to have, we'll have 2. We'll have 2. It's going to be interesting to see how Petrino matches up our guys and gets them in space. That's one of the things I think he does really well is getting your playmakers in space and getting them running to open spots when you're taking your shots downfield. You're getting them open or you're getting them one-on-one. You're not throwing it into double coverage when you're doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see what pieces he works. And then Cream's going to rise to the top, see what players kind of take hold. You brought this up earlier, Phil, about the quarterback. Hopefully somebody takes up and takes charge and takes the job. Same with the offensive line.
We do have Bill King now on the McClarty Daniel hotline on this Tuesday afternoon. Hey, Bill, how are you doing?
It's raining really hard, guys, and I was on Noah's Ark and I fell off. So I'm just now able to get you. I'm back on land.
I think
good.
We had some storms coming through here too, pretty heavy, man. It is definitely a little ugly this time of the year. You got spring football starting here at Arkansas. We were kicking around that. Did you see the comments from the old ball coach about the lack of organization for the Florida Gators, and he just doesn't quite understand it? I remember looking at the Florida coaches page last year, the week that Arkansas played the Gators, and they had like 60 support staff members, which was crazy. But when the legendary coach who still lives in town and has a restaurant named after him that's got his Heisman Trophy in there, and everybody goes to that restaurant, they're going to listen to what he says, and it does not look good for Napier.
Something along the lines of just because you hire and you have more coaches on staff than anybody doesn't mean you're going to win, which is true. I mean, you better have dudes. You better have a good plan. You better play some defense. They're a mess. The chances of Billy Napier surviving past 24 are negligible. They're minuscule. There's history. There's the roster they have. There's the overwhelming schedule they have next year, which is not a let's come back, guys, as a program schedule. He's going to get a lot of money when it doesn't work out, but the chances of it working out are minuscule.
I was listening to you the other day, and you had Brad Powers on, who's a bookmaker and knows his stuff, and he brought up the idea. I think you had asked the question about odds of coaches losing their job in the SEC, and he did not have Well, let's say in his mind, the odds of Sam Pittman not being the Arkansas football coach after this season were very good.
I think he just left him off, wasn't thinking about it. I brought it up. And I think he's got to be, if you're talking about coaches that are on a slippery slope, Pittman's on there. I don't know if I'd have him where Napier is, but I think this year is very defining for him. And anybody asked me, I would have him on that list. Clark, Lee, but it's Vanderbilt. You never know what they're going to do. Next guy's not going to win either. And Billy Napier, I would have said Eli Drinkwitz before last year, but you got to take him completely off that list now.
Hey, Bill, we were just talking about some running backs and trying to think about Arkansas's their best tight end. I think is our best position. This Junkins kid, Jackson,
Jaquindon Jackson
from Utah. Have you seen? He's a Texas kid. Duncanville went out to Utah. I know he's had some decent run. Utah was a mess last year on offense. We know that. What should we expect from him in the SEC? I think he's an SEC caliber back. What are your thoughts on him?
Get a Texas kid. You know you're getting a good ball player. He goes to Utah, which means Kyle Whittingham has scouted him, which means he's got to have toughness. You can't teach, you can't teach toughness. You're either out there with it or you're not. And so he's a tough running back. I think he'll be solid. I don't know if he's a difference maker that's going to change the pathway of anything, but I think he's a solid back. There's lots of running backs out there, but I appreciate Coach Kyle Whittingham so much. That's the only scouting I need.
Well, massive amounts of change as far as Arkansas was concerned. I guess no team, well, every team remakes themselves in the portal, but no team got more headlines about what they did in the portal than Ole Miss. Different kind of pressure on coaches that, as we brought up a moment ago, might be on that slippery slope, that's a proverbial hot seat. And then there's, you got a program in Ole Miss that's been rising under Lane Kiffin. They seem to have NIL figured out there to a point. And now it's a different kind of expectation, a different kind of pressure. Like you got a 12-team playoff. We expect 3 teams in the SEC to be in there. Ole Miss probably expects to be one of those teams.
I would have them in my top 3 to get in. I'd have Georgia, Texas, and Ole Miss. Now, I think you could debate it. Is Ole Miss going to be better than Alabama? If Ole Miss and Alabama played today, Ole Miss would win. Now, we don't know what Alabama – I know they're players in their roster, but we don't know exactly how that's going to click. I assume they're going to be pretty good, but I would clearly have Ole Miss ahead of them. And I think Tennessee's going to be a threat. Tennessee's got what might be a generational quarterback they're about to unleash on everybody, who is a phenom, and they've got tons of offense back, and they've patched up their offensive line. This team has rushed for 2,500 yards, I think, 3 years in a row, and they're known as a passing program under Heupel. They're a threat. I think A&M's going to be better, and LSU is going to be dynamic again, maybe not to the level, but they're going to be very pointsy offensively, but they have a huge, about 10-player overhaul they need on defense. And I keep leaving out Missouri. Missouri's a problem.
Yeah, there certainly appear to be.
Yeah.
Second-year coach at Auburn, Hugh Freeze, and what they're doing there is. Am I too early saying that Auburn could be a dark horse? They could find a way to slip into this top 12, or are they still another year away?
I think they're top 30 good. I don't think they're top 12. They've got to solidify the quarterback, which I think they will. They're going to be good at receiver. They might be bringing in the 2 best combination true freshman receivers of any team in the country. And so they're going to put up points. It's Hugh Freeze. Weren't quite as personnel high as they needed to be a year ago on offense. I think that is much better this year, and I think they're going to be fairly salty defensively. I think they're more 8-4. I don't think they're ready for that jump. And then you also have to ask yourself, if they're ready for that jump, who are they replacing?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not replacing that top 3 we've been talking about.
Well, let's finish off with just some big picture stuff here. The 12-team playoff probably doesn't look like it stays at 12 teams for much longer, just 2 years.
Yeah.
and it looks like they want to expand to 14. In January, I remember you bringing this up with us, the idea that the SEC and the Big Ten were trying to pull a power play, kind of bully the smaller conferences. And when you see their proposal, and it's not a proposal, it's a demand for the Big Ten champion and the SEC champion to get an automatic bye to out of the top 14, and that 3 teams from each league get in, maybe 4. That is bullying. That is, and I'm not saying that in any sort of like a judgmental way. What they're telling the 2 other leagues that make up the P4 and the rest of the G5, you can do it our way, or we'll go do it our way in another way that doesn't include you.
They also, and you might have mentioned this, but they are demanding that in a 14-teamer, which requires just 2 teams getting buys, they have a guaranteed bye for each league, meaning SEC and Big Ten. They also are demanding that. What if there's a really weird year, which we haven't seen one that I can think of in recent memory, where the SEC and the Big Ten doesn't have somebody worthy of that, but they still get the nod? We're now that's not approved, but you're right. Somebody with a really big fist has pounded his fist on the table and said, "Here's the way this is going to look."
Like if you're the commissioner of the ACC or your Mark with the Big 12, you really can't do anything about this other than just accept it or understand that you're going to eventually be broken off from these other 2 leagues. I mean, there's no other way for them to go.
True, and if you're the ACC, you know you're in one way or another about to lose Florida State next couple of years probably, and that's going to create a domino effect, likely of a North Carolina, Clemson, maybe Miami. Who knows? But the Big Ten, the SEC is going to maybe pluck a couple of those. Probably discuss in advance how they're going to go about it in tandem. Yeah, you got a mess, and then you've got a media relationship problem with ESPN in your contract. So yeah, if you're the ACC, man, you're not where the Pac-12 was, but you're a little flimsy right now.
I think we're going to have a different term for this industry other than college football. We need another word other than college, I think.
Yeah, it's guys, and I'm a little older than you guys, to say the least, but what we were used to ain't what we're getting. That's for sure.
Bill, thanks for dialing us back up after falling out of Noah's Ark. Happy swimming, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio on Halftime. He spent a full hour. I mean, I was listening to him this morning. Most of the conversation was about the change in college football and how the 2 big leagues have made this power play and what it can look like moving forward. That's what college football fans are talking about right now. Aside from spring ball and positional battles and all of that, it's the total change. You know, it's not just slight little things. It's total change. 877-377-6963 for the McClarty Daniel hotline if you want to react to that. More on Halftime in just a moment.
UCA Insurance wants to remind everyone they are your local, trusted insurance agency for all your life and health insurance needs. They are located in the North Bell Shopping Center at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison. Feel free to drop by the office anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., or call 870-517-1207 to schedule your appointment now. And don't forget, they are local people helping local people.
Get to the live events you love with the assist from Vivid Seats. Whether it's the...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders.
From Amity gave us a call, and we got him here right now. Eddie, thanks for holding there. What's going on?
I said, I was just going to tell Matt that when Phil Elson says he might pitch today, like you said it this morning, I mean, it's got to be like incredible. But anyway, I forget who we was talking about.
I was talking about Dylan Carter. Yeah, he's a kid from Northwest Arkansas.
That college football is kind of like, I don't know, killing itself with the scavenging of teams from other conferences, and and it takes away the Pac-12, the ACC, and it's just not going to be like it was. It's going to be
Eddie,
some kind of.
Eddie, let me reverse this for you, because part of this is, are people going to stop watching? Will fans stop being fans because of these changes? You obviously are a fan. Will you stop watching?
Well, not the Razorbacks.
I think you've answered the question then.
Yeah, but I mean, teams like I don't know, Wake Forest, ACC. I mean, are they getting left out? And will they wither and die or something?
What I think happens here is, Matt, he brings up the idea of like college football is one big entity, and right now, if we're talking about Division I football, it is one big entity that is split into however many leagues we have. What I think is going to happen is that college football splits into two identities. One is the big leagues, like the NFL Junior, whatever you want to call it, SEC, Big Ten, and then the rest of it. And it's still college football, but it's not the same thing. Either one of these two leagues are different, and it certainly isn't the college football that we identify with. It's not the college football you have right now. Is it going to destroy itself? I don't know. The money's there. That's why they feel they can do this. Because why is all the money being paid to these leagues by the television networks? Because people watch the game religiously. So I don't know if it's eating itself up.
Well, if the thing is, when they break off and you have your haves and have-nots, or it's not going to be Division I, Division II anymore, NIA. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to be your whoever they classify as who moves the needle, who is good enough to be in the TV realm. Like they're trying to get it set up that way. They're not really worried about. They're not worried about any old traditions or anything like that, which I don't know why you would be, but they're just worried about how can we make the most money? Who's going to watch? Does Florida versus Florida State, does that always get eyes? Does Ohio? What are the games that gets the eyes? And my thing is, it's not going to be as simple as you think when teams are going 1-7 a lot. Like if Arkansas continues on that trek,
right?
I do think you lose viewership. I do think you lose when you're not competitive. When you're just getting smacked around all the time. How is that any fun to go up there? Well, who are you cheering on?
You're right about that, but I think there's also an ebb and flow with if one team is struggling and they lose viewership, fewer people watching the Razorbacks because of a series of bad years. You think just a
college football or a fan in general just switches over and watches another team?
Watch another game. Like somebody else, let's just, just for argument's sake, Eddie brought up Wake Forest. Let's say, and the Wake Forest fan base is considerably smaller than Arkansas, but let's say they have one of those years, or NC State has one of those years, or Ole Miss has one of those years.
Yeah.
Then their viewership goes up. Someone's viewership goes down because they lost a bunch of games. Well, somebody beat them in those games. And, Arkansas is 1-7 and somebody else is 7-1. So, and that's the thing. Like Eddie says, well, did you hear how he answered that question? He'll watch the Razorbacks because that's him. That's who he is. I mean, that's part of Eddie's life. Part of, I think, most people's life that are listening right now. You watch the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're bought in all the way on the coaching staff or the team or like the way that they're playing, but you probably watched to a point until you were sick of watching and turned it off because you didn't want to watch the same ending that you saw the week before. The week before and the week before.
Used to, you could get a regular season title, and then you'd have a chance to play for the conference championship. Then you have a chance to get into the BCS or the Final Four. Now it's going to be the Final 12. My thing is Arkansas going to be relevant whenever all this changes? Are we going to be relevant enough in football where we can compete? Or are we just going to be a bottom feeder type team? Like, are we
one of those teams where you say, well,
like a Wake Forest,
you got to play against somebody.
That's the thing that it seems like we're losing in all this. That everyone, since everything's changing and all this is going, we've lost a little bit of our competitiveness. We're not getting the talent up there on the hill.
So, but in pro, look in the NFL, and in the NFL, there's still hope for really bad franchises because of the structure of the draft, of a salary cap. There's a fairness that's built into it that's not built in. I mean, you still have people that don't know what they're doing. that'll run a franchise into the ground. Hello, Washington Commanders and stuff like that. But that's on them. That's not on the structure of the sport.
Well, and there's less. There's 32 teams, 53 men on a roster. When you're talking about college football, there's 118 teams. I forget what the Division I number is. So how much less is that going to be? Where's the number going to be? And then you're trying to get into that. You're trying to get into that pool, and there is no draft. It's just all about how much money are you going to give me. It kind of makes me think of years ago when you had unlimited scholarships. Is what it kind of is like. It's like when Notre Dame, Oklahoma, they would go get somebody just because they didn't want somebody else to get them.
Compiled talent.
Exactly.
That nobody else could end up getting. Just even look, I mean, there is no fairness in the way that a college team schedule is built. There is in the NFL. You finish in first place, you play a first place schedule, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you can't have a league if you're not playing everybody. That doesn't even make sense in any competitive form or nature. That doesn't make sense at all.
Well, at least to have divisions where you play everybody in your division.
That's what I'm saying.
And eventually that's what you're getting to. Like we're doing this thing now where there aren't any divisions. Once you have the 32 or 34, 36, whatever the number is, Super League, you're back to divisions. You will be, because then you can just break it down very easily and do that.
And then if you're not in there, let's say you're not in the top 40, let's say in 2 years, you think it's going to happen sooner than I do. I think it's a little farther away, but let's say in 5 years, 2 years that we make everybody decides, and they like whoever the committee is, they pick these 42 teams. They pick these whatever. If you're not in that initial group, is there any chance you ever can get into that?
Right. Is there a way into the club if you're not part of the club at the start?
And
doesn't sound like it would be.
And then do you have a way where if you have the A pod and the B pod or whatever, East Coast, West Coast, whatever you want to do they ever play each other? Is there ever a cross right? Are you just now, do you go over there and you just got to play against your guys? And then is it two totally different league? I just don't know how it's going to work out.
I don't think anybody knows how it's going to work out. Even those who are trying to force this issue, the people who run the SEC and run the Big Ten, maybe they have plans for what this looks like in the future, but they're being really tight-lipped about it because they have to still operate under the current structure.
Does Nebraska get in? Nebraska's they haven't been any good in the last few years. Are they a team that would be classified as one of these top 40, top 60 teams, however they're going to do it?
And I say 2 years because that's the length of the playoff contract. And look, like if the commissioner of college basketball, the de facto commissioner of college basketball, Dave Gavin, has that position or is viewed like that because he runs the basketball tournament, which is what college basketball is all about when it comes to the money coming into the NCAA. Well, then there has to be some idea that the tournament is the most important thing. The next time that college basketball can completely change or have any sort of changes in the way it's structured would have to do with signing a contract with Turner and CBS. That's how I view the football playoff. Like that is the starting point for the structure of college football. The money thrown into the playoff, thrown into that business, which is called the college football playoff, and how it filters down from that. It's 2 years left. Once you start renegotiating, now I think you're not just renegotiating what the playoff looks like. You're renegotiating essentially what the whole industry looks like. And then there's the added weight of all of these court cases in which the NCAA is just folding. And at some point, the folding leads to this is unsustainable for this association to still be an association. That's why I feel it happens quicker than 10 to 5 years. I think it's in 2 to 3 years. But we're agreeing that this is going to change. It's all changing.
One of my favorite movie quotes from No Country for Old Men. It's a Coen Brothers movie, and he's like, "Sheriff, it's a mess, isn't it?" And he's like, "It'll do until the mess gets here." That's what we got. Right
the mess
now.
Is here.
That's exactly right.
The mess is here. Somebody call the cleaning company.
It's a do till the mess gets here.
You need to get Mr. Clean. You gotta wipe down those baseboards, clean in the corners, get the iRobot out. Everything. I mean, everything you can clean this with. Also, get on your Bet Saracen app because it's Arkansas's favorite sports betting app when you want to put a little money on college basketball, on the NBA, your preseason Major League Baseball bets, and preseason college football because it is still college football. for the time being. It's all right there on your Bet Saracen app. Download it on the Apple App Store or on Google Play. You can always use a web browser. Type it in at betsaracen.com, but got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use it. Time to close out halftime in just a moment.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. We work to design an insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter Insurance ranked #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region 5 out of the last 6 years by J.D. Power. Satisfied customers and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
See Agent Jason Hill in Greenwood or Agent Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Hey, I'm Hagan Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Hog fans, you can call the Hogs in Paris. Cheer on the historic Razorback track and field program as they chase their 50th national title with season tickets for just $40, with each season ticket purchased for regular season meets in Fayetteville. You'll be entered to win a round-trip flight for 2 to Paris, France to watch the Razorbacks compete on the world's biggest stage this summer. Join the chase today and call the Hogs in Paris by securing your ticket at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Fast from me, well, slow down. Had my picture taken at the New York town. Then we sat down together on the ground. And we were looking back to computer. Two pretty folks, sorry 2 times. You know I tried to see what you're dreaming, but not with your eyes. You got style, you're unique, you move so light.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
A couple of notes from Sam Pittman's press conference. Andrew Chambly has left the Razorback football program, apparently. Starting left tackle for most of the games last year. See this in Jacob Davis writing about it on SI. I think Trey Biddy was the first to report this. So that's your start. I don't think he would have been the starting left tackle this year, truthfully, but he's not on the team now.
I thought he would be better this year. It's tough. What these kids do, it's to be a student athlete up there and what it takes to put your body into it. If you're not all in, that's how you get hurt. That's how things happen. If you wish the kid well and you hope him nothing but success.
Jacob also reporting that Branson Hickman, who's a center transferring out of SMU's in the portal, is in Fayetteville this weekend. So looking at another one. And now Zuri Madison, a freshman offensive lineman, was it an ACL? In a scooter injury.
I know that times are a-changing, and Ron Burgundy had never heard that song. But if you want to run a football team, I'm sorry, kids, you don't get to ride a scooter.
Those scooters,
you don't get to ride.
They're everywhere on every college campus.
Not if you're a scholarship athlete. Not if you're on my football team. If I catch you on a scooter, oh my goodness, that's because there's nothing. Any fall. It's there's nothing. It's you in concrete.
We had a player with the women's basketball team. I forget how long it was ago, 6 or 7 years, that got in a scooter accident before the season started. She didn't play for the first half of the season. I mean, these scooters are accidents waiting to happen.
You'd be running. You'd be doing a lot of that should be a good example right there. And I had an example when I was in like 6th grade. The high school quarterback up there at Van Buren, tore his ankle up in a scooter accident. So it's a thing, man.
Shouldn't be surfing, shouldn't be roller blading,
you shouldn't be surfing unless you're from Hawaii and you know how to surf. Like it shouldn't be something new that you're going into. Man, there's no reason to.
No BMX competitions.
No.
Certain things that we all know to do. Look 2 ways crossing the street, brush your teeth every day, probably 2 times, and I'd stay off the scooters too. All right, we've made it through halftime today for a Tuesday. If you missed any of our interviews, our conversation with Chuck Barrett, Melissa Orange, and Bill King, it'll be coming up on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast very, very soon. Ruskin and Jack are standing by, but on most of our affiliates, Arkansas baseball starts 2:30, Chuck Barrett and Bubba Carpenter on the call. 3:02 first pitch, Arkansas and UCA. And I'm headed to South Carolina with women's basketball. That's where I'll be when we reconvene tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, I'm Phil. Thanks for your calls, thanks for your texts, and thanks for listening. That's Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
Logs? Nobody